If you want to see $100,000 hit your bank account over the next 12 months, even if you're starting from zero, it is possible, but it requires a system. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do that in 5 smaller steps. Now, I'm not going to waste time in this video talking about the benefits of having more money or making $100,000, so I'm just going to jump right into step number 1 because I know your time is valuable. And step number 1 is just doing the math. Because you have to be honest with yourself and understand, are you on a path to even generate $100,000? If you want to make $100,000 over the next 12 months, that's 365 days. Well, if you're in a leap year like 2024, then that's 366 days. But regardless, that means you're going to have to make $274 a day if you want to make $100,000 over the next 12 months. So now the question is, are you on a path to be able to generate at least $274 a day, 7 days a week? Yes or no? If the answer is no, based off of whatever you're doing currently, then you're going to have to make some changes to that because you got to at least generate $274 a day. Now, if your question here is, how the heck do I generate $274 a day? This brings us to step number 2. Step number 2 is grow your income to $274 a day. Now, this step is going to be a little bit longer, but this is where, again, you have to be very practical and honest with yourself. Do you have a trajectory from your current job or your current career to generate this $274 a day? Chances are no if you're watching this video. If the answer is no, the next question is, can you do something different in your job or career to generate that $274 a day? Maybe it's through a certificate, a raise, a promotion. Can you do that to make $274 a day? If the answer is no, well, that's okay, because what I want to do right now is talk about 10 different ways that you can start generating or creating your own income. That way you can start getting closer to that $274 a day. This is where the main time is going to be spent to how do you generate and grow to the $274 a day, because the reality is this part, while it might take you a lot of time in the beginning, if you can put in that work in the beginning and stay consistent, you'll be able to scale your income way past, hopefully, $274 a day, but it requires all that work of getting the $0 a day until you can scale it past that. So here are 10 viable business ideas that you can use in today's economy to take you to the $274 a day and beyond. Number 1 is learn how to create 3D virtual tours of homes and then sell this as a service to realtors, especially realtors that are selling homes that cost over $500,000 a year. Artificial intelligence and these type of virtual tours are becoming very popular, and most realtors don't have a clue as to how they can actually create these types of renderings. But if a realtor has an edge because they can list a home for sale and have a 3D rendering of it, they're going to be able to get more business, meaning they're going to be able to make more money, which means they're going to be able to pay you more money to do that. And this is going to be a very popular thing in the coming years. So if you can learn to create these 3D virtual tours, you can sell them to realtors. Number 2 is go to chiropractor offices, physical therapist offices, massage offices, and beauty salons. And if they do not have any sort of digital social presence, offer to manage and create their social media accounts for a monthly fee. And now the whole thing is, if you can drive more revenue and more business for these clients, they're going to be able to pay you more money as well. And the reason why I know this is a viable idea is because my cousin, who was in high school, was making $5,000 a month doing this exact thing. He was talking to beauty salons, massage parlors, and he was also talking to chiropractic offices, and he was getting them to pay him $400 to $800 a month to just manage and create their social media posts. Number 3 is create a business where you paint and clean rental properties after a tenant moves out for a landlord. What you're seeing happening in today's economy is landlords are having a tough time finding handymen, and they're having a tough time finding contractors, and they're having a tough time finding any sort of affordable labor to do things like cleaning up a property and doing that type of basic work at a property, especially after a tenant leaves. Every single landlord who has rental properties will see turnovers, meaning sometimes a tenant will leave and a new tenant will have to move in. Well, before the new tenant moves in, you have to turn this property over, meaning you have to clean it and renovate it. And many times if a landlord is busy, they're not going to have the time and resources to go out and find professional cleaners and turnover services. So what are they going to do? That means many times they're going to call the contractor to do the turnover on a property, even if there's no repairs that need to be done. And so if you can have those basic services just like painting and cleaning, and now you can offer the services to landlords or property management companies, now you have the ability to offer a more affordable service, and many landlords would love that ability to save money on a property turnover when you don't have those types of major repairs. Number 4 is become an expert Facebook and a YouTube advertising manager. Now, here's the thing. You're seeing a lot of money move away from traditional advertising towards digital advertising. We've been seeing this happen for years, and it's going to continue to happen over the next decade. Well, what you'll see happen is you have these kind of medium-sized businesses. These are businesses making somewhere between $500,000 a year to maybe $3, $4, $5 million a year that might not want to go out and hire a full-time advertiser on staff. So what do? They want to just go to an agency or somebody that can manage their advertisements for them. And you can go out and learn things like Facebook advertising or YouTube advertising and become an expert in this. Watch as many YouTube videos as possible. Go out and buy classes. Go out and try it for yourself. And if you now can offer this service for a fraction of the price of hiring an employee, now you can build a portfolio of businesses whose advertisements you are managing. Now, in order to succeed here, you have to actually care about the business, because I've worked with a number of these types of agencies. If you don't care about driving results, if you don't care about driving profits, you're not going to see any business. But if you put in the work to actually help the business drive profits, and you actually care about providing the best return on ad spend, you're going to see much more dollars come to you, and you're going to see many more businesses come to you, which will allow you to scale. Number 5, start a mobile detailing agency for doctors, lawyers, and other high-end professionals who do not have time to go and take their car for a car wash, but they want to drive nice cars. So you want to tailor these higher income professionals because, number 1, these are people that have money to pay for the detailing. And number 2, these are people that don't have the time to get their car washed thoroughly. And now if you can start catering to these people, what you can do is put them on a monthly plan. Put them on a once-a-month car wash where you come in on a Saturday or a Sunday when they're home and they don't want to go out and get their car washed. And now you go to their house to save them time because that's the most valuable asset that they have. They don't want to spend their time going to you. If you go to their house, now you can save them time and they can pay you money for saving them time. Number 6 is learn SEO, search engine optimization, to help e-commerce brands get their products onto the first page of Google. Just like how digital advertising is not going away, search engine optimization is not going away either. In fact, the way search engine optimization is done is always changing. And if you can become obsessed with search engine optimization and you learn how Google ranks different articles, how Google ranks different posts, you can now use that as a skill to help businesses selling things online get their products onto the first page of Google and stay on the first page of Google. But again, this is going to take time for, number 1, you to learn this, but you have a lot of free content on YouTube, and then you can take classes, maybe get some coaching, and then you can offer this skill as a service to businesses who want to sell more of their products. Number 7, if you're good with your hands and you're crafty, you can start a handyman business or agency that specializes in people who work from home and building out home offices. You're seeing a lot of people who still work from home or have a hybrid or remote work life, and many people will want to have a nice office, a work from home office. And so now, if you can start building some cool work from home offices, you can create an agency where now this is what you specialize in, and now you can charge a premium because you specialize in work from home offices. Number 8 is you can start a virtual assistant agency for businesses or executives or professionals who don't have a lot of time. So now what you can do is you can offer to CEOs or professionals or busy people to manage their emails, maybe manage their calls, and help organize their life. If you are organized and you like being on top of things and you like having things done systematically, on time, and quickly, you have a very valuable skill that a lot of business professionals will be more than happy to pay for, because if you can save these business professionals time, again, time is their most valuable asset, they'll be willing to pay you to save them on that time. Number 9, if you have a truck and you have a strong friend, you can create an office relocation business. What are we seeing happen right now? A lot of offices are either changing or downsizing. So you're seeing a lot of businesses now move from one place to another. And if you can offer these businesses a service where now you will do a white glove service, you're going to walk in, you're going to take the desks, take the chairs, you're going to drill them out and do whatever you got to do, and now move their stuff for them so they don't have to worry about it, they will be able to pay you a premium, because business owners don't have to worry about how they're going to unscrew the chair legs off of the chair and move it from one office to the other. And if you can offer that as a service, well, now you have a client. Offer it to businesses who are relocating. And if you want to know how to find businesses, find commercial landlords. Tell them that you offer this as a service and you're willing to give the commercial landlord's clients a discount. just because you're starting off or you're new into this new area. And of course, last but not least, number 10, start a YouTube channel or a podcast or some other sort of social brand. Because if you like talking about something, if you're passionate about something, well, chances are other people might want to listen to you or hear what you have to say. Now, with all of these, what you have to understand is you're going to have to put in that extra work in the beginning. Like I'll talk about YouTube from my personal experiences because I'm here on YouTube talking about financial education, which means I'm making money talking about money. Yes, that's true. But what you have to understand is it takes a long time to see any success with any of this. Like with YouTube, for me, I didn't get my first YouTube check for about 18 months. So I made videos for 18 months. I did it as a hobby because I was working on my other businesses. I was busy on my real estate investment properties. I was fortunate enough to see financial success before I started my YouTube channel. But it takes time. It took me 18 months to get my first YouTube check, which was about $250. So less than the $274 a day that you need in order to make the six figures. But today, if my YouTube channel made $250 in a day, I'd be wondering what the heck broke. So you go through this curve. You got to put in all that work in the beginning to see very little results. But if you stick with it, you're going to not only be able to generate the 274, but you're going to be able to break way past that. And so if you're starting from nothing, you're going to have to figure out what it is that you're going to do to start generating an income, because you have to at least make the 274 a day if you want to be able to get to the six figures in 12 months. This brings us to step number 3, which is don't blow your money. A big mistake that you see a lot of people make now is they're working to generate money just so they can have the nice life. I'll talk about YouTube because I've seen this with a number of YouTubers. Let's say you build a very successful YouTube channel, and now your YouTube channel is making $500,000 a year from your advertisements and your sponsorships, and you can replace YouTube channel with any one of these businesses. It does not matter. Now, you take this $500,000 you see in your bank account, and what do? Well, now because you're finally starting to make some serious money, you get yourself a nice car. You get yourself a nice home. You start going on the fancy vacations and you start spending that money and start living the $500,000 a year lifestyle. But now you have nothing to show for it. Yeah, you got the income coming in, but you have no real wealth. You have no real assets. And so now you're working your butt off just to make everybody else rich. Why? Because now every time you make money, your money is going to the car company, your money is going to Delta, your money is going to Gucci, your money is going to all these other companies because you're working hard just to pay everybody else off. And then if something bad were to happen, if something happened to your YouTube channel, if something happened to the economy, if something happened to your revenue, well, now you don't have the same money to keep living that same lifestyle. And this is where you do not want to start blowing that money. Remember, the goal here is to build wealth. And this is where you got to be smart. Have a system where you know no matter how much money you make, how much money are you allowed to spend, invest, and save. I say follow something like a 75-15-10 plan at least, which says that from now on, for every dollar that you earn, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend. 15 cents is the minimum that you invest, and 10 cents is the minimum that you save. This way now, whether you're making $10,000 a year, $100,000 a year, or $10 million a year, you're always paying yourself first by investing your money and saving your money before you go out and blow all of your money. Now, if you want some additional resources on how do you use your money, and how do you invest your money, and how do you build your wealth with this money that you have, we have a free ebook at Briefs Media, my company, that walks you through step by step of how do you start with the mindset of an investor, to how do you start saving your money, to how do you start investing your money, how do you generate cash flow, how do you protect your assets, and how do you spend your money smartly the way wealthy people do. This ebook is completely free. So if you want to get a copy of this ebook and start learning for yourself, to get a copy, I got the link to how you can download this ebook for free down in the description below, where you can go to briefs.co/ebook. And this brings me to step number 4, which is learn. This is going to accelerate not just how you use your money, but how do you generate an income. And this one is something where not only do you have to invest your time, but you're going to want to start investing your money as you start growing in this as well. Because when you are building your income, you're not going to know what to do. You have to go out and learn what to do. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. One is just by doing it yourself, and the other is by paying other people to learn how they did it. And you want to do both. Because if you're working to create an income, if you're working to get sales, if you're working to get business, if you're working to get customers, if you're working to grow your brand, you can do it all by yourself. And you start by watching YouTube videos because it's free. You can start by reading blogs because it's free. But eventually, you're going to want more of a step-by-step guidance of just like, break it down for me. And that's where maybe you read a book or maybe you go out and buy a class. And this can be very beneficial, especially in the early stages. Now, I don't recommend you just blindly follow any class, learn from the class, and then apply this information to your business. This has been very helpful for me, is going out and learning from other successful people, but not just blindly copying them, being able to learn and apply what I learn into me and into my own business. So start investing some money and time into learning into other people's minds. As you start to grow on your income, then maybe the next thing you do is you go beyond classes to things like coaching and consulting. And now what you'll see is that the prices start to increase. When you're reading books, that might cost you $10 or $20. When you're going out getting classes, that might cost you $100 to $2,500, $3,000. When you go out and start investing in coaching, now this is going to cost you $5,000 to $500,000. So now it's different tiers of income that you're spending to get different levels of education. And yes, there are different values for this education as you scale. Because now if you're trying to build your business and now you're making, let's just say $500,000 a year, you might not get that same value out of a $200 class as you would out of $5,000 coaching to get you from $500,000 a year to $1 million a year. Because there are new skills that you have to be willing to learn. And in order for you to get those skills, you have to be willing to invest into learning. And now, again, you can do this all by yourself, and that's fine. You should learn by yourself, but you can lower that learning curve, and you can lower the time that it takes to get there by investing in your own education and by investing in people to teach you how to get there faster. Because the whole goal is to be able to accelerate your path to getting to where we want to go financially. But if you want to accelerate your path, you got to be willing to invest in your education. Now, if you focus in on the $0 to $100,000, that means start with the free education. Okay, YouTube, podcasts, and blogs. You have a ton of free education that can get you to $100,000 from there. But if you have a little bit of extra money, then go out and read books. Now, there's books on businesses, books on starting a business, books on scaling a business, books on managing people, books on marketing that can help you. And if you have a little bit more money, then you can also consider investing in classes. That means classes on, again, scaling a business, starting a business, marketing a business, SEO, advertising. These are the places where you want to be investing your money, especially as you go from $0 to $100,000. You probably are not going to want to go out and spend thousands of dollars on coaching until at least $100,000. But this is where understand you want to be investing and learning. If you don't have any money to invest, that's okay. Invest your time through free education. And then as you start to make a little bit more, that's when you can invest some money to get some more education through things like books and classes. That way you can accelerate your path to getting to the $100,000 sooner rather than later. And number 5 is stick with it. You can be in a completely different place financially in the next 12 months if you stay disciplined and stay consistent. But the problem that most people have is they might do something for 10 days, 20 days, maybe even 30 days, but getting past 30 days and sticking with putting in the hard work day in and day out is very difficult. The number one reason why most businesses fail, beyond just managing cash flow wrong and not having a good product, is most people just can't stay disciplined to stick it out. And this is where if you can stay consistent, keep putting in the work. That means keep trying to get business, because what you're going to see is when I talk about the different business ideas, everyone's going to say, oh, that's hard. How do I get my first client? Getting that first client is so hard. Getting the second client is so hard. You're right. It is hard. But that first client is the hardest. The second hardest is the second client. The third hardest is the third client, and then it gets a little bit easier after that. But you got to put in the work to get that first client, because now to get that first client, you have to know what you're going to offer. And number 2, you have to know how to sell. You have to know how to market. You have to get businesses. You have to know what to charge. All these things take work. And everybody wants to see the success today or tomorrow or this week or this month. But to think that you might have to work for 6 months without getting a single sale, most people don't want to go through that. But that's where the real success in business is seen. It's just by people who keep putting in the work when most people just give up. And that means you got to stay disciplined. And that means you got to stay away from all the distractions. Stay away from blowing the money. Stay away from wasting your time. Stay away from all the things that are taking you away from you seeing that success that you want. That means if you want to see the success that other people don't have, you got to be willing to put in the work that other people are not willing to do. Is it easy? No. But is it possible? 100%. But you got to stay disciplined and you got to keep putting in the reps when other people are not. If you are looking for some simple ways to save an extra $1,000 quickly, you are in the right place. What we're seeing happen right now is that more and more people are running out of money as credit card debt is rising, and the majority of Americans do not have $1,000 saved up. Now, the thing that you want to understand about this is if you don't have $1,000 saved up, I like to say two